Beautiful people, where did we land, right? On the planet right now. Many have lost their direct connect to their source. Many have lost their pure energies and are finding gates and researching and so much more to get back into their original vibes. The only missing link here would be cutting out the laziness to get back into the master soul stone that was actually first embedded on your midbrain and that cracked into pieces when birthing into soul consciousness. And thus, what is promoted on the internet is soul consciousness, of course. Get into your soul, get into connection with soulmates as long as it cuts you down. Keep it in the soul. And so that is the whole thing that cracks people into pieces and living in diseases all of the time. Getting disease free, getting into your self healing paramount, I would say, requires some alignments to the divine in which you connect directly to your source, your spark, and your spirit, the three S's. Once you get there, and you delete continuously all the malfunctioning in your blood circulation, in your nervous system especially, and in the tissues and whatever we have in our biology, you return in the light divine organism that feels all universes all of the time, that works with divine light teams on the planet all of the time. So even if you have consumed a lot of medical nonsense, that is still doable and moving yourself out of that. And so I've been watching so much over children, over youth, because they are the dearest to my heart, and the animal kingdom. And it's detrimental to just, have a vision of parents waking up in the morning and getting their children uh, onto a food platform that is piled with brands sugars, only sugar, sugar, sugar. When you see them outdoors, they feed their children with sugar, sugar, sugar. And that is even worse than not having a vegan diet, because sugars cut the immune system in the first place, and so our stores or shops are piled with 80% of sugars just to keep your brain down. So here, this is a huge call to a re-educational system for parents and re-educating their children with pure foods. Also, those who have a garden, why not pull out a garden and plant your own herbal kingdom, plant your own um, veggies and fruits and stuff as much as you can in the present day environment. And that can only be done with the placement of a high level crystalline grid, because our organism stems from crystalline consciousness and crystalline embodiment. So we are slowly but surely returning in that crystalline light vibration, and that is far beyond the nonsense of anything termed chakra system. So I never stood behind the chakra system. It's so dumping, idiotic. It takes so much work, and the reason why is you can never touch the heart. You can never get into the divinity of light vibrations that are the origin, and so you never feel your source, you never feel your spark, you never feel the origin pardon me, of your spirit. So if we can agree upon that and get the education in, and move in your direct connect with your source, or whatever you call it out there, and you feel that everything that has cracked can be reopened and fuse with the light fire that we have inside of us, within the House of Light, still termed Shambhala. So there it is, like, how will we educate our kids sugarless? How will we educate our kids in a vegan diet? Where do we start? These are all valuable questions and very, very important at this time, because we have never witnessed so many depressive kids, so many kids overactive, so many kids too low in vibration. There's about 45 million kids that have a deficiency when it comes to vitamins and minerals, and that is getting up and up and up. So here, I think it's very important to start out that community building, grow our own foods, grow our own herbal kingdoms, and leave the shops behind for what they were. Because we do know the earth is so much contaminated. So what we can do is crystallize a certain piece or space in our garden and start to grow these foods ourselves, or within a community, or whatever is actually possible for you. And that would be great as a starting point to get our kids sugar free. It is killing their brains, it is killing their capacities, it is killing their creativity. And thus, they need a lot more from parents to educate them, and is actually moving into the inversion, because in the good times, before the fall, kids would educate themselves from their creative engines. Nowadays, parents stand by their kids all of the time and teach them, and there's all sorts of things going on, of course. Uh, but the self-creating, creative capacity is being killed by sugars in the first place, which is actually quite the obvious moving here. So when parents move back into their direct connect with their source, open up the energy fields beyond the sixth dimension, at least, that is where you start to manifest. So that takes some education, that takes some endurance, that takes healing on an everyday levels. So I have a link there if you want to start out at least a foundation in light and move that beyond the present chakra system, which is the purity of a pillar of light, and then educate that to your kids. That would bring the highest level of change already. And yeah, stop the nonsense of old educational system, old things like Makaba, old things like your chakra system, old things like we need a lot of healing to get out of this traumatic life circumstances. Everybody has trauma. But once we move our vibration with a light vehicle, like you need a car to get on the road, right? You need that oil, you need the benzene or the electricity to get that car running. How many people still fail in getting the electricity of their light body running and knowing how that motor works? Once you understand that, you become, I mean, you could change 360 degrees in just a month time, get your motor running, get into the optimum energy, and start really repairing your organism into purity. That means deleting anything that is sugars, that is deleting anything that is wheat. Every shop in every town, most of the time, has 95% of wheat in their food, and that cuts your vibration so much down. Wheat is in almost everything, in your pizza and your spaghetti and everything, but you can make a corn pizza, you can make corn or rice spaghetti. I mean, there's so many options, right? And cultivate some good foods in the home, sugar-free. And here, this is also especially a call to parents. And I must say, my son is 20 years old. I got up in the morning at 5, at 6 at least. I would bake sugar-free apple cake or anything of the sorts that they like, but sugar-free. I would do it myself. These days, parents are so lazy. They go in every shop and buy cakes or birthday cakes and stuff like that. That is piled and piled with murdering ingredients. So that is truly a shame for our kids. It doesn't take so much to get up at 5 or 6 and start cooking for your kids. The healthy food, sugar-free, and with plenty of minerals and vitamins, and choose a different platform that elevate brains, that elevates education, and especially their sweet vibrations, right? So that can be done. Have a look at the link of how to lay a foundation, or just reflect on your own connection. Do you have a connection? Do you feel it day and night? Do you feel the fields of light? Do you feel the wheels of light? Do you remember what you are? Can you see it inside out? I'm referring, pardon me, especially to those people who had a beyond that experience and who seen the light fields. Well, let me tell you, this time around, it's these light fields we see all of the time when living in a light organism and a light environment. There is no such thing as depression and stuff going on. There is a thing of working together, making up the team, and all the teams are downloaded on the planet already. So it's a matter of having your crystalline vehicle, so to speak, around you in a crystalline grid, and massive thousands and thousands of crystalline grids, and learning to work with them so you can ground the team, and so the team will speak and um, talk to you and give you assignments how to work through the grids, and you will see them just like you see me at the present moment. Ain't that something? And so many are still complaining. So there's no place for complaint. There is a place to repair everything that is going on, and we need to take responsibility, as we've seen more than enough. Nobody in the outside world is going to govern us. We can govern ourselves, and we can claim our own light vehicle and light brilliance back in there. I hope you liked it, and yeah, I'm pretty much very open to comments, what you think, what your struggle is, and to know where you are at. How do you feed your kids? How do you feed yourself? What do you struggle with when moving into light? Are you still in old meditational paradigms with no fun? Because the fun today with spirit and your direct connect with your source is that you get daily new instructions, new visions, new openings, and that is what light does. It recreates itself all of the time. So yes, please comment and then tell me what you like, what you don't like. I mean, we are open today, right? We need to unify somehow, some way, and that comes through the new age that is termed communication. Okay, thank you so much. Keep it up, keep it healthy, and start crystallizing.